Hey y'all, this is Sergeant Dan coming at you again with another knife review. Today what I have before you is the new CRKT Seismic. This is a new offering this year from CRKT. So let's start out with some size comparisons. I'd like to do this with some more popular knives so you can kind of get the feel of how big this one actually is. And let me say, this is a big knife. It's heavy, it's big. Speaking of heavy, if in my knife reviews, if I forget to mention the weight or something like that, that's because I'm the kind of person where the weight of a knife doesn't really matter much to me. I know there's people out there that refuse to buy a knife or carry a knife if it's over a certain weight. Me, frankly, I don't care. You know, it's whatever to me. I get the thought behind it. I get the I understand the reasoning for it. But if I like a knife, I don't care how much it weighs. I'm going to get it and I'm going to carry it. Okay. So, forgive me if I keep going off frame with this one too. This is just a big knife. Okay. So let's start out with the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 right there. You got your Benchmade 940 Osborne. As you can see, it is reasonably longer than both of those. Swap out that one with the Spyderco Delica. As you can see, it's a great deal larger than the Delica. So let's get into some of the specifications on this knife. Overall length is 9.14 inches. So when I'm telling you it's a big knife, it's a big knife, guys. They say the cutting edge is 3.5 inches. Yeah, maybe that seems a little small to me. Whatever they say. They say it's 3.5. I'll take their word for it. It is 1.4116 steel, which, quite frankly, I know absolutely nothing about that steel. I don't know where it falls, if it's in the VG10 range, if it's in the Alsate range. I don't know. I don't know a single thing about that steel, and that's actually something that I'll be addressing here shortly. Drop point, flat grind. Let's see. Stainless steel liners, of course. Most knives nowadays have stainless steel liners. It is a flipper, as you saw. It is a right or left hand tip up only carry. It comes with a deep carry pocket clip, but even though it's a deep carry, you still have some knife sticking up past the edge of that clip. So, it kind of defeats the purpose of a deep carry clip, if you ask me. But, whatever. The biggest thing with this blade, G10 scales on this. What made this blade such a big deal from CRKT is the new locking mechanism that they're using on this one. They call this the deadbolt. One more thing I forget to address. This one is, let's see if I can get that in there. This one is on a KVT. I think it's KVT. It's on some kind of bearing system, so it's either the KVT, which is the loose bearings, or one of the style that's the bearings that are captured in a washer. But the cool thing about this knife is its locking mechanism. It's called the deadbolt, and the way this works, if you see, the button on this side is recessed right now, and as the knife opens, it reaches a point where that button snaps out. And if you'll see it from the other side here, you've got this, which is kind of sticking out right now, and as the knife opens, that snap goes right in there. And the way this works is the knife has holes in it, and this essentially has two prongs on it, and as that blade opens, those prongs go through the blade. I can't remember if both do or if just one does. I don't remember, but there's at least one of those prongs that goes through the blade and locks it up. And I mean locks it up solid. There is no blade play to speak of here. No up, down, left, right, nothing. So that's what's really sets this knife, sets it apart from, you know, others. Let's see. This knife is about, oh, excuse me, bumped my camera there, guys, sorry. This knife is about $120 on most websites you can get them from. I don't know, I mean, I would imagine there's stores that have them, but none around here where I live, so. At $120, yeah, it's all right. I would have liked to have paid less for it, but it's a pretty cool knife. Like I said, it's a real beefy knife. It came razor sharp. You know, as sharp as a thick blade like this can be. I mean, it can be sharp, but I wouldn't really call it so much of a slicer. But it will cut. It will definitely cut. Let's see. So I mean, it's a nice knife. I like it. I really do. If all right, let me put it this way. I do have a couple of complaints about it. The fit and finish on it is okay. There are all these edges on the G10 here are sharp and a little rough in some places. Just all over the whole knife. If they had just taken the extra time and effort to just round those off just a little, this knife would feel so much better in hand. I wouldn't say that there's any real hot spots on it, but you can definitely feel these sharp edges on the G10 here. So that's one complaint I have. Molly, you okay? The dog's over here sneezing to death. You're here in South Carolina and the pollen's trying to just kill everybody and everything. I myself am suffering from it a little too. My other complaint is the steel. You know, like I said, I don't know anything about that steel. It was that 1.4116 steel. I don't have a clue what that is, man. I've never heard of it before this knife. And quite frankly, I haven't done my due diligence and researched that steel myself. But I mean, at $120, you know, you could use a steel that's more commonly known. You know, at that price point, for this big a knife, for this, you know, for this cool feature, this new feature, you know, you could have used D2. You could have used. I mean, you might could have used S30V at that price. But I don't know. That's kind of a big chunk of steel in S30V for $120, but. You could have used a nicer, I don't want to say nicer, I don't know anything about that steel, but a nice, well-known steel for that price point. So those are really my two biggest gripes about it. If you saw my review on the CRKT CEO here, you know, I raved about this knife, and I do. I absolutely love this knife. One thing I said in that video is, you know, this is a $40 knife. I am more impressed with this knife than I am this one. Now, this is impressive, okay? That's a really cool thing, and I hope CRKT comes out with more knives that use this locking function. I really like it. It helps keep your fingers out of the blade path when you're closing it. You can also kind of, you know, if you see how I'm flicking it here, you can kind of do it like almost like a, you know, how you can do an axis lock where you can flick it open and, you know, actuate the lock and flick it closed again, and your hand stays out of the way of the blade. You can, it's kind of that same concept with this. One thing that I did mention in this video too of this one is, you know, you got some minor billboarding on the knife here. That doesn't really bother me much. This one, you've got none. When this knife's sitting down in your pocket, okay, there is nothing showing that says what brand of knife this is. And as a matter of fact, with this small deep carry clip and this little bit sticking out, you know, if people aren't paying attention, they won't even know you're carrying a knife. But now, of course, you got it on the blade. That comes, standard with any company, just about, is they got to put their name on it somewhere. You got your Seismic on here, which, by the way, is a Icoma design, so it's a real cool designed knife. I like it. So, $120. Am I glad I bought it? Yeah, of course I am. I really am. Do I like the knife? Yes, I really do. I carry it occasionally. I've got so many knives, guys, that it's hard to, filter through them all and get them all in rotation. So I've honestly, other than when I first got it and carried it for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, since then I've only carried it a couple of times. And that's not saying anything bad about this knife. It's just that I've got so many that, it's hard to pick and choose. So let's see, where was I? $120. Am I glad I bought it? Yes. Do I like it? Yes. Do I enjoy it? Yes. At that price point, if I were to lose this knife, would I buy it again? Maybe not initially. My CEO here, if something were to happen to it, if I were to lose it, I'd turn around immediately and buy another one and still keep looking for this one, hoping that I find it so that I could have two of them. Okay, this is a sweet knife. With this one, I would want to replace it. Absolutely, I would want to replace it eventually. But at $120, I wouldn't just jump on it and do it. So it's a cool knife. If you like big knives, pick you up one. It's $120. That's for a knife this size. And other than my complaint about the sharpness of the G10 edges on the G10, it's really well built. It's solid. It's heavy. It's thick with 2 C's. It's a good knife. I feel like I'm kind of downplaying it because I love this one so much, but no, that's not the case. This is a great knife. I do love it. I really, really do. There's just a couple of things that I would change about it. So one thing I want to address. There's a lot of people that they've got a knife that they absolutely love all around, except for one minor feature, and because of that one minor feature, they then decide to start crapping on the knife, for lack of a better way of putting it. They decide that because of this one feature, I don't recommend this knife. I'm not going to buy this knife. I'm going to sell this knife, whatever. Not me. I understand that in order for me to get the perfect knife I want, I have to get something custom made or make it myself. Okay, that's just how the world works. So no company is probably ever going to come out with the perfect knife. People love the paramilitary too, right? But there's complaints about them. I have my complaints about the paramilitary too, okay? But it's an awesome knife. It's a wonderful knife, right? So that's what I'm saying about this one. It's an awesome knife, but I have my complaints, right? So, would I recommend you getting it? Absolutely. If you have $120 to drop on a knife and you want to get something that's got a real cool new locking mechanism like that, and something that's big, go ahead and get you one. It's a great buy. It really is. It really is. It's an awesome knife. So that's it for this one. My other review, if you haven't seen it yet, on the CRKT CEO, check it out. So far, these are the only 2 knives I've reviewed on my channel. Not for lack of wanting to do more, but I'm a brand new channel, and this is what I've gotten to do so far. So check them out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff on both of my videos. And thank y'all for watching, and have a good one.